Good morning. So, shuna paisa no? Sobe shuna paise? Is the voice audible? Okay. So, we are continuing the lesson that we have already started, right? Ami ki kori asilu? Reproduction in organisms we were doing. I think you all have gone through the previous videos, no? Agor video gita paisa? Have you studied? Saisa? Videos bilak paisila na agote ami ekera lesson continue kori asu no ekera lesson continue kori asu aji khali live ahisu kintu baki khini ki asile we used to give you the videos and so we are going to continue that lesson itself. So what we were talking about is we were talking about asexual type of reproduction in organisms divided into two types, that is asexual aru sexual asile. What we were discussing in the last class is types of asexual reproduction. Monot asene? Types of asexual reproduction kori asilu. Hello? Huh? Ki koisila? Offline ho golo. Hello. Okay, so in the last class ami kiman loke korisu ba last video to tumalke kihor loke pohisila. We have talked about types of asexual reproduction and we have stopped in layering, no? Layering process to ami discuss korisu already. We have talked about artificial means of vegetative propagation. Tat ami ki korilu discuss, cutting discuss korilu aru layering discuss korisu. Right? I think you'll remember. Aji ami ki korim, the third type of artificial reproduction or artificial vegetative propagation, that is called as grafting. Is it clear? Punisane? Okay, it's grafting. So, grafting out, we are going to write certain points, but tumalke notes khini already pai goisa. But from entrance point of view, there are 3 to 4 points that is very much important. Important ki, the first so you have to know the grafting or examples bilak, right? So the examples that are given in your NCERT book and the examples that are given in your notes, hey, examples kini poriba, tar basis of question ahe. Second is, the second question is, grafting kun bilak plants ot koribo pari. Right? So plants hote koribo pari ne kisuman specific plants hote grafting koribo pari. So that is the second question. Third question is, to go for grafting, what is the most important tissue? Right? Eta particular tissue thakilehe grafting koribo pari. Next we have the different types of grafting. Right? So this lecture would be both in English and in Assamese. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. Yate Ohomiya nubuza kunuba ase niki? Okay. So we are talking about grafting. Let's see what are the points that we need to remember. First is the examples of the plants in which you can see grafting. Grafting ko dekha pao ami mango, pear, peach, plum, pine. There are so many examples. Apple, guava, etc. Right? So first is the examples. Next, grafting ki hoy. It is a method or it is a technique. It is a technique or method. Aru a method tud ami ki koru of joining two parts. Joining two parts of two different plants. Hoy? So in case of grafting, what we do is we join two parts of two different plants. And if you are talking about the two parts, what are the two parts we are talking about? Kunduna part ami join kuru. We join a root system of a plant and we join a shoot system of a plant. Adult plant or root system or adult plant or shoot system jedi join kuru a tar pora na notun plant we try to develop, that process is called as what? Grafting. While we are talking about the root system, there is a particular term you have to remember. The term is stalk. A term to important. Our shoot system to ki boli koy? Scion. right? So in types of grafting, examples important. What is a stalk? What is a scion? Question ahe. Question keneke ahe? The root system is called as stalk ne scion. Obviously the root system is called as a stalk. Aru he root dalot, suppose we are talking about a plant like this. A plant dalor etu hol tumar root system, no? A root system, a gos dalot jodi aru eta part from some other plant yate join kora, etuk ami ki boli kom? Shoot system of some other plant. So a duta ami join korim. This is what is called as grafting. So there are two words, stalk and scion. Some points about the stalk that you have to remember. Stalk or ki hobo laibo je it has to be resistant. It has to be resistant to disease and pest. Second point about the stalk, it should have an efficient root system. So these are the 2 points that you need to remember about stalk. One point about scion that you should remember is the scion always have the desired characters. Right? So stalk or ki mone rakhibo laibo je juntu stalk ba juntu ami root system or kotha koisu jot ami notun part to join korim a part to healthy hobo laibo. Healthy in the sense it should be resistant to disease and resistant to pest. What we understand by the word resistant? Resistant to disease mane ki? Ba resistant to pest mane ki? What is resistant? Je বেমাৰ সেমাৰ হ'ব নালাগিব প্লাস কোনো ইনসেক্টস বা কোনো তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ অৰ্গানিজমস এটাক ইনফেক্ট কৰিব নোৱাৰিব সো যদি ইটস হেলদি দেন only it is suitable for the purpose of grafting. And if you are talking about the scion will obviously have the desired characters. Means what? Ami je grafting process to kori asu, what is the purpose? Grafting ami kiho karne korisu? Je edal gos ase, suppose we are talking about eta example di bujale easy hobo. Suppose we are talking about an example of a wild rose, right? Edal rose plant ase that is grown in the wild. Ami ki dekhisu hey gos dalor maybe the flowers are not as the way that we want to. Hey gos dalor jinkhini ফুল আছিল আমার ভাল লাগা নাই আমাক কি লাগে যে সেই গছডালতে ভাল ফুল হ'ব লাগে বেলেগ এটা ভেৰাইটিৰ তেতিয়া আমি কি কৰো সেই ওয়াইল্ড রোজ ডালত আমাৰ যোনটো পাৰ্ট বা আমি যোনটো ফুল ভাল পাও সেই ফুলটোৰ এটা পাৰ্ট আনি পেলাই ওয়াইল্ড প্লান্টত যদি লগাই দিও সেই প্ৰসেছটো আমি কি বুলি কওঁ গ্ৰাফটিং এটা কথাটো হ'ল গ্ৰাফটিং কিহ কাৰণে কৰো যাতে নেকি আমাৰ মতে ডিজায়াৰ্ড কোৱালিটিজ অফ দ্য প্লান্ট অফ দ্য ফ্ৰুট অফ দ্য ফ্লাৱাৰ উই ক্যান গেট সো আলটিমেটলি grafting or karone jundal notun plant produce hobo ba juntu notun part produce hobo hey plant dalot kar characters thakibo purona plant dalor characters thakibo ne scionor characters thakibo obviously scionor characters thakibo so yar upor a question eta ahe olop pisot ami discuss korim je question to keneke place korise from this point ekhin loke bostu to buji paisu ne nai yes okay so we have talked about two words that is stalk and scion next is let me rub the board. So examples monot rakhiba stalk aru scion word duta monot rakhiba next grafting kun bilak plants hot possible grafting is done janane kot kore grafting kun bilak plants hot kore it is done in cambium containing eustilic plants. So there are two important words. One is the cambium and the other is eustili. First, let's come to the word cambium. What is cambium? Cambium is nothing but a tissue that we are talking about. Jedi monot ase from the plant anatomy part that you all have studied. Vascular bundles asile, vascular bundles kisuman open asile, kisuman closed asile. Xylem aru phloem or majot eta strip of tissues thake. That tissue is called as cambium. Secondly, cambium or information what you remember is if you have read about secondary growth in case of a plant, right? Secondary growth to obviously porisa. What is secondary growth? The adult plant if it has to grow in thickness, tetia hole number of cells should increase and that is what is called as secondary growth. Secondary growth or karone who was responsible? A word called as cambium. If you remember vascular cambium, cork cambium, eta word monot ase ne? right? So that is what we are talking about. So grafting koribo lagile hodai cambium thakiboi lagibo plant dalot, and we know je cambium kun bilak plants ot thake, so plants ot thake ne kisumanot thake. So cambium is generally present in case of dicots, right? So grafting is possible only in case of dicots and not in case of monocots, because cambium is absent in case of monocots, are present in case of dicots. Next, we come to another word that is called as eustelic. Eustelic plants, right? Eustelic has come from the word stele. Stele monot ase. What is stele? We have to go back to plant anatomy again. Yate ami okman revision or nisnao korisu. Stele, right? So concept of stele boli kiba eta porhisila tumalge? Concept of stele, right? So what is stele? Ekdom very simple language of the day if you want to understand stele. Karon so first so you all are appearing for the entrance, so I don't think you all have to by heart the sentences. Definition to by heart definitely koribo nalage, karon definitions to ketiao nahe ahibo ki je tumi bostu to buji paisa ne nai. So what is stele? Instead of by hearting the definition, we have to understand stele to ki bostu. Stele simply ami ki jano, the seat of the vascular bundle. Tar mane vascular bundles bilak junkhini jegat thake, jun bilak tissues ot thake, hey tissues khinik ami ki boli ko stele. The second point about stele is ami stele ketia dekha pam, adult plant or stele ami ketia dekha pam jetia ami hey plant dalor TS korim. Similarly adult plant or vascular bundles ami ketia dekha pam jetia ami tar eta TS katim, right? So if you are talking about a stem portion or if you are talking about a root portion, ei tar bhitorot ki khini tissues ase, if you want to study the anatomy of the stem or the root, then what you need to do is you have to cut a TS, hoy ne? So when we cut a TS, ami ki dekha pam je enuka gulor circle structure kisuman dekha pam, aru yate kisuman kiba ami ki dekha pam cells dekha pam, ba we see certain tissues. And when we are talking about the TS ot ki dekha pam ami certain tissues bilak dekha pam, ar tissues bilak hodai eta proper arrangement thake. Arrangement mane, suppose we are talking about this one, right? This is a TS. Tar a first layer of tissues to eta beleg nam thakibo, thakiba na thake? Janu ne najanu ami? TS of a root, TS of a stem, right? So first layer thakibo, tar pisot ako suppose next layer thakibo, right? Eneke eneke kisuman layers thake. After this layer aru eta layer thakibo, aru eta layer thakibo. So what we need to know, jetia ta TS katu, TS or tissues bilak keneke arrange hoi thake? It always arrange itself in this phenomenon ECEP. Means what? A outermost khonok ami ki boli kom? Epidermis, hoy ne? Below epidermis is the cortex, hoy? Aru cortex or tolot ki pam? Single layer, moi yat aka nai bhalke, hetu diagram jodi confusion hoise, moi yate bhalke aki diu ruba. Suppose this is one layer, this is the epidermis, below the epidermis is the cortex. So etu hol epidermis, etu hol cortex. Below the cortex, the next layer is called as endodermis. Hoy endodermis ot ki thake? Casparian stripes thake no? So below the endodermis layer, by inner to the endodermis, you have pericycle. Hoy? Aru pericycle. So epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle. Pericycle bhitorole, by inner to pericycle, it cannot be hollow. Eta futa ba eta gat to hobo nware no? Tatu to kisman tissues thakibo pericycle or bhitorot. Ei yate jiman bur tissues thake no? Ebilakok ami ki boli kom? Stele. Right? Aru ekhini portion jate ami ki dekha pam, we will see the vascular bundles, right? So vascular bundles bilak junkhini tissues thake, tissues ot thake, hey tissues khinik ami ki boli ko? Stele. So that is the first point. I think we understood what a stele is. Next point about stele is a stele structure to ba stele type of tissues bilak ba stele tour development hoise. Development in the sense that lower plants or higher plants or different type of tissues or different type of steles has been evolved. So we have to talk about the evolution of stele also. Je একদম বা এনশিয়েন্ট প্লান্টস বিলাকৰ ষ্টিলি কেনেকুৱা আছিলে সবতছে এডভান্স বা মডাৰ্ন প্লান্টস বিলাকত ষ্টিলি কেনেকুৱা if you are talking about ancient plants or if you are talking about lower plants what are the plants that we know lower plants বুলি ক'লে এটা এক্সাম্পল কিছুমান এলগি কিছুমান ফাঞ্জাই এবিলাকক আমি কি বুলি কওঁ algae fungi এবিলাক হল lower plants no lower plants are ভিতৰত bryophytes ও পৰিব gradually কি হৈছে plant kingdom of what we have seen is plants বিলাক highly evolve হৈ গৈ আছে first we have the algae after algae তাতকে অকমান advance কি আছিলে bryophytes ৰ পিছত pteridophytes ৰ পিছত gymnosperms and which group of plant is supposed to be the most advanced it is obviously angiosperms হয় যদি একদম লোয়ার গ্রুপ বুলি কও আমি এলগি কও মোস্ট অ্যাডভান্স গ্রুপ বুলি যদি কও আমি তাক কি বুলি কও এনজিওস্পার্মস বুলি কও রাইট আকো এনজিওস্পার্মস হ্যাজ বিন ডিভাইডেড ইনটু টু টাইপস আই থিংক উই নো obviously dicots আৰু monocots tar ভিতৰত angiosperms to advance হয় it's okay কিন্তু if you are comparing dicots and monocots কোনটো advance dicot plants were advance নে monocot plants were advance monocots are more advanced dicots or pora but dicots or pisot monocots were evolved hoise and what are the reasons we'll study about it in the plant kingdom as of now coming back to stele ki kotha janibo libo what is stele we understood stele got evolved as far as the plants we are concerned next is according to the evolution of stele we have different names of stele the ancient plant of stele tor naam ki asile etia angiosperms or naam ki accordingly we have some names called as protostele siphenostele solenostele dictyostele then we have eustele and we have ectactostele now we come to the word eustele so eustelic plants mane ki junbilak plants or stele tor naam ki eustele hey plants bilak kok ami ki buli kau hey plants bilak generally tat ki hoy grafting hoy aru eustelic plants bilak kun bilak plants we are talking about the dicots right so grafting is possible in those plants that have the cambium and eustelic development what is eustelic development we are talking about the development of a stele so what's the highest type of stele to kuntu the highest type of stele is called as ectactostele right ectactostele kot pam so what's the highest plant or pam our highest plant bilak kun bilak monocots right so monocots or junto stellar structure dekha pao tak ami ki boli ko ectactostele ko ar dicots or junto stellar structure dekha pao tak ami eustelic boli ko is the point understood now বুজি পাইছো yes okay so etia so ami kihor kotha koi asu monocots aru dicots or kotha koi asu no monocots ot ki thakibo ectactostele thakibo dicots ot thakibo eustele thakibo now when we are talking about the difference between a monocot and dicot duta stellar structure dise kuntu ectactostele aru kuntu eustele ba kuntu stele monocotor aru kuntu stele dicotor ami keneke gom pam you have to know the difference also so when we are talking about monocots and dicots monocots aru dicots are bahut differences ase nai starting from leaves stems etc from the point of vascular bundles also ihot dutar major eta difference ase have you heard about this term vascular bundles arranged in a ring duta statement ha jodi moi kau vascular bundles arranged in a ring aru eta statement vascular bundles remain scattered right so depending on these two lines we have to identify the kuntu statement monocotor or kuntu statement dicotor so can anyone tell me out of these two kuntu monocot or kuntu dicot yeah jetia ami scattered word to dekha pao vascular bundles scattered it is always a characteristic of monocot ar jedi vascular bundles bilak eta specific je sound clear hua nai sound clear hua nai sobore problem hoise ne okol specific cover clear ase nai hua no okay just jar problem hoise okman swason tumar audio ru sailo okman bhalke Okay, we'll continue. So আমি কি কৈ আছিলো যেতিয়া আমি scattered word to দেখা পাও যে vascular bundles scattered হেতু characteristic কি হয় monocot আৰু যেতিয়া vascular bundles arranged in a ring বুলি কওঁ that is a characteristic of কি dicot. Now what we understand by the word scattered and arranged in a ring এই দুটাৰ meaning to কি আমি কি কলো Xylem phloem scattered or kotha actually ami koa nai ami ki koise jana jedi vascular bundles bilak eta specific jegar bhitorot thake tetia hale ami tak kom arrange in a ring ar jedi vascular bundles bilak jote tote thake that is called as scattered jote tote thake mane ki if you remember the TS of a maize stem তোমালকে এনসিআরটি বুকত মনোকটৰ স্টেম সেকশন দিয়া আছে ন মেইন স্টেম এটা দিয়া আছে বা কিউকাৰবেটস দিয়া আছে তাত কি দিয়া আছিল যে এনেকুৱা তোমাৰ এপিডাৰ্মিস খন দিয়া আছিল আৰু ইয়াতে যিমানবোৰ টিস্যুজ আছিল ইয়াতে এটা ভাস্কুলাৰ বান্ডল ইয়াতে এটা ভাস্কুলাৰ বান্ডল ইয়াতে এনেকে আছিল সো এনেকে জোটে জোটে যদি এৰেঞ্জ হৈ থাকে তাক আমি কি বুলি কম স্ক্যাটাৰ্ড কিন্তু ইন কেস অফ আ ডাইকট আমি অলপ আগতে কি দেখা পালো যে ই সি ই পি এখন হল if suppose this is pericycle or ভিতৰলে যদি vascular bundles বোৰ এনেকে arrange হৈ থাকে তেতিয়াহলে it's almost like a ring type of arrangement. So this is what is called as vascular bundles arranged in a ring and vascular bundles remain scattered. Scattered, code scattered ho lagibo. Another point of difference between dicots and monocots, if you remember, pericycle ba endodermis ebilak bostu monocots na thake. So epidermis thakibo, epidermis of tolot ki thakibo, entire tissue would be called as cortex or ground tissue. A ground tissue gute vascular bundles bilak scattered ho lagibo. Kintu dicots or kotha jodi ko, epidermis of pisot cortex thakibo, cortex of pisot endodermis of pisot pericycle or bhitoror pinehe vascular bundles bilak arrange হৈ থাকিব are you understanding the difference between the two right so ultimately ekhini hol actually a jikhini information this is something that is related to plant anatomy and not from this lesson kintu ami to akon revise koriboi lagibo no bostu to janibole hole so we'll come back to the topic again ami ki discuss kori asilo we were discussing about grafting code possible The grafting is possible only in case of dicots. Or dicots or grafting kiho karone possible? Monocots or kyo no hoy? Karon monocots or cambium na thake. Or dicots or stellar arrangement to ki buli ko? The stellar arrangement is called as eustelic type of stellar arrangement. Next, we'll come to the next point. Grafting or So stalk আৰু scion are the two words ekita to clear hol root system to ami stalk kom ar notun ke jintu part log lagam tak ami ki buli kom scion buli kom some points that you have to remember is stalk should be older than scion so duta part log lagam besi age kul kar hobo laibo the root system of the stalk should be older. Second point is juntu ami scion anim ba juntu notun part ami anim the scion should have 1 to several buds থাকিব লাগিব যদি scion to bud na thake tetiale he scion is not appropriate for the purpose of grafting. Third is যদি স্টকটোত বাদ আছে bud is not allowed to sprout. So these are the three major things that you have to remember. The stalk should be older than the scion. Scion should have many buds or at least one bud. And jedi stalkot bud ase, he stalkor bud to ketiao sprout koribole allow nokore. Kiho karone nokore? Because we want a new plant and the new plant will depend on stalk ne scion. Obviously it will depend on the scion. Is the point understood? Okay. So 18th point mon rakhiba. Next we'll be discussing about the types of grafting. Types of grafting. There are several types of grafting. Our A grafting bila kenekwa we have number one called as tongue grafting, or it is also called as whip grafting, or it is also called as slip grafting. Is it beleg types of grafting bilak porhim? Kisuman tongue grafting buli koi, kisumanok crown grafting koi, kisumanok wedge grafting koi. Ei je naam bilak dise, naam bilak on the basis of what is je ami grafting to karone cut to ami keneke banaisu. Diagram to jeti akim, then it will become more clear. So one is called as the tongue grafting. Second one would be called as it is called as wedge grafting. Third is crown grafting. Fourth is side grafting. And ultimately we have another type of grafting that is called as bud grafting. A sarita point, that is tongue, wedge, crown and side. A grafting gitar naam gita kiho karone dise based on the cut that we have made. The diagrams will make it clear. Tongue grafting also, jihetu grafting, gutekhinit ki thakibo, stalk thakibo aru scionu thakibo. So tongue type of grafting or kenuka dhoroner grafting ok ami tongue kom. This is the stalk and this is the scion. So, jedi grafting korute ami etu hol scion jontu diki ami notun ke loi aniso he bostu to ami kot logai dim ei root system dalot logai dim. This is the soil. Yate logaute amar cut to jedi in the form of a slanting, that is what is called as tongue grafting, or it is also called as slip grafting or whip grafting. It is almost slanted in position. So depending on the type of cut, the graftings has been given different name. So iman base details are generally questions aha nai, kintu jedi ketiaba question ahe je identify the type of grafting from the diagrams that are given below. Looking at the cut, you have to understand jedi eneke slanting ke kate tetihal tak ami ki buli kom tongue grafting buli kom. Next we will be talking about the wedge grafting. Wedge grafting ot ki hoy je we have the scion. Stalk, scion. So in the form of a V, almost V nisna no. Jedi V nisna ke cut hoy, etu stalk yate a portion to tat ami grafting clay logai pelai tat ami insert kori dim. So this type of a cut would be called as wedge. Jedi slanting ke kate tak ami ki buli kom, it will be called as tongue. Similarly, we will come to the crown type of grafting. Crown grafting ot ki hoy, je you have a stalk, right? A stalk to bahut kital scion ekelage logai dile ami tak ki buli kom crown type of grafting. Right? So you have the root system, that is the stalk. Stalkot ami ki koriso bahut bilak scion ekelage logai diso, and then we will use the term called as crown. If you are talking about tongue and if you are talking about wedge type of grafting, that ami ki dekhiso okol edal scion hai edal stalkot log lagaise. Yate kintu ki hoise je 3 dal ba 4 dal bahut scion could be incorporated in the same stalk. Next, we have side type of grafting. As the name suggests, side type of grafting kenuka hobo je ebar stalk dal thakibo. Stalk dalor side ot ami ki korim scion dal logai dim. So this is the stalk and this is the scion, and this is what is called as side grafting. Is the point understood? Ekelage buzi paisa? right? So we have different types of grafting, and what are the different types of grafting? These are the different types of grafting. The 4 up till number 4 we have discussed. Yar bitor aru eta point ki monot rakhibo laibo je when we are talking about tongue grafting and wedge grafting, এই দুটা type of grafting ot ki hoy je the diameter of the scion and the stalk is same. আমি diagram to pray gom paisu, right? Stalk aru scion are almost the same diameter. In case of wedge grafting also, stalk aru scion are almost the same diameter. But if you are talking about crown grafting and the last one, that is side grafting, that stalk aru scion are diameter to equal no hoy, right? Next is, we come to the next type of grafting, that is called as bud grafting. What is bud grafting? So, the 5th type of grafting was bud grafting. Yate, what you need to remember is the scion is a bud. So, juntu portion ami root system ot logai dim, hey portion to, it's not a stem cut now. What is it? We are using a bud. This bud contains this bark containing cambium and a part of the bark. This is very important. Cambium thakibo laibo, a part of the bark. Tar mane diagram to swa, if you are talking about a bud like this, juntu niki ami root system dalot graft korim ba kumai dim, অকল বাটটো কাটি পেলাই আনিলে নহব, তাত কি থাকিব লাগিব যে ক্যাম্বিয়াম পোরশন কিনিও থাকিব লাগিব আৰু তাতে বাৰ্কটো থাকিব লাগিব. সো দিস ইজ দ্য বাৰ্ক এন্ড দিস ইজ দ্য বাড, right? So a bark system to ba jundal gosor pra tumi he bud to loi anisa, he bud to okol singi anile no hobo, tate koban barkor portion to thakibo laibo, ar he barkor portion to ki thakibo laibo, cambium thakibo laibo, because we know if you are going for grafting, then cambium nohua ke ketiao grafting hobo noare, right? So in case of bud grafting, scion is a bud and this bud contains cambium and a part of the bark. So how do you go for this type of a grafting? So yate ami kenika koru process to, suppose we have a stalk like this, etu hol tumar stalk to, ei stalk dalot ami eta T-shaped slit katu, T-shaped slit, right? Okoman eneke eta cut koru, ei T-shaped slit tut ami bud to insert kori diu. আর তার পিছত আমি তাক কি করো, ব্যান্ডেজ করে দিও. This is the bud, this is the bandage, right? So we take the scion to ami kod diu, stockot kumai diu, stockot first ami slit eta koru, slitor bitor bud to kumai diu, ar jate niki bud to remains in the same position, what we do, we used to bandage it. And if you keep this for some time, around after 3 to 5 weeks, this bud will start sprouting and a new plant would be evolved from that bud. So this is what is called as bud grafting. Bud grafting or examples, one common example could be apple, peach, ebila whole common example. So this is all about the different types of grafting, and these are the things that we have to know about grafting. So grafting all okay, বা গ্রাফটিং অর পোর্শনত আমি ইম্পর্টেন্ট বুলি কলে ফ্রম এক্সামিনেশন পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ কি ইম্পর্টেন্ট যে গ্রাফটিং কোনবিলাক প্লান্টছত কৰিব পাৰি, ইট ক্যান বি ডান অনলি ইন কেস অফ ডাইকটস. সেকেন্ড ইজ কোনবিলাক প্লান্টছত গ্রাফটিং হয়, এক্সাম্পলস বিলাক, দ্য এক্সাম্পলস দ্যাট উই হ্যাভ রিটেন এন্ড দ্য এক্সাম্পলস দ্যাট আর গিভেন ইন ইয়োর এনসিইআরটি বুক. থার্ড কোয়েশ্চন ইজ হোয়াট ইজ দ্য ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন আ স্টক এন্ড আ স্কিয়ন. স্টক কি বস্তু, স্কিয়ন কি বস্তু, রুটেড পোর্শনডালক কি বুলি কয় আর নতুনকে আনা পোর্শনডালক কি বুলি কয়. দ্য ফোর্থ কোয়েশ্চন ইজ যে গ্ৰাফটিং আমি কিহৰ কাৰণে কৰোঁ যাতে নেকি ডিজায়াৰ্ড কোৱালিটি এটা বা আমি we can get that, right? So the question that is asked is desired quality of the fruit or the plant or the flower depends on which stuff, the stalk or the scion. It obviously depends on the scion. So these are the 5 points that you have to remember about grafting. Clear hoise ne? Any questions up till here? Hello? Questions ase nei kiba? Ekko jodi questions okoraba, if you don't interact, I'll feel as if you all slept. Hoye gola niki? You all slept or what? Okay, okay. Be energetic. I know this is the last class, but in spite of that, you have to learn. Yeah. Still alive. My God. Okay. I think I always teach live students only. Right? Okay. So the next thing is asexual reproduction of artificial vegetative propagation. We were talking about the different types of asexual reproduction. The next type is something called as micropropagation. So cutting porilu. What else we have studied? We have talked about cutting. We have talked about layering. We have talked about grafting, and the last is micropropagation. Micropropagation we will be studying as an entire new chapter, right? 12 or pisor pine amar micropropagation or details ase. So here we are not going to do the details about this portion. What we are going to learn is what is micropropagation. Micropropagation mane ki? Propagation mane to grow new plants. Micro mane from a small part, that is called as micropropagation. Whenever we are talking about micropropagation, we are talking about ki tissue culture. Tissue culture or details of I mean pisole class of korim, right? So tissue culture or through re jodi ami notun plants develop koribo paru tak ami ki boli ko micropropagation. And whenever we are talking about tissue culture, duta point I think you all have studied, duta words specially. Do you remember something called as explant? Right? Aru eta point tar lokot associated callus. Right? Tissue culture eta details of nasao, in spite of that we need to remember that what is micropropagation? Developing new plants with the help of tissue culture is called as micropropagation. Tissue culture logot duta word associated, eta hol explant, eta hol callus. What is explant? Juntu part ami propagate korim tak ami ki boli kom explant. Yeah, the part on which we will do the culture, that is called as the explant. Explant could be one cell, it could be a collection of cells, it could be a part of an organ, etc., etc. Next we come to callus. What is callus? Callus ki hoy? Undifferentiated mass of cells. Tar mane ki যে suppose tissue culture কথা কৈ আছো আমি এটা সেল লৈছো ব্যাটারি ডিশ এখনত তাৰ পৰা আমি কি কৰিম ইয়াৰ পৰা বহুত সেলস বনাম ন সো ইয়াৰ পৰা সেলস বনাই আছো সো this group of cells is called as callus. Is the point understood? Right? Tissue culture ami eta part lom. Suppose we are talking about explant as one single cell. Hey single cell to division and redivision or karne tat ki hobo a group of cells would be formed, right? Our group of cells to gradually pisole ki hobo desired plant dal form koribo. Jetia leke desired plant dal ba desired organs bilak form nokore tak ami ki boli kau undifferentiated boli kau. Tamane ami dhoriboi para nai je ki form kori ase, gradually he form koribo. So jetia leke eta proper structure form nokore, he collection of cells would be called as what? Callus. So details will go and discuss in the other chapter, that is in your 12th portion. As of now, this is also a means of asexual reproduction. So here we have completed the asexual reproduction part. Reproduction dubhagot bhag korisile no, sexual or asexual. Asexual, what is asexual? The different types of asexual, examples of asexual reproduction is something that we have completed. The next portion that we will be moving towards is sexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction by ekhini part or loke kenukwa dhoroner questions entrance ot ahise 4 or 5 questions we are going to discuss now. Ar tar pisothe ami sexual reproduction le jam. So let's see what is the type of questions that is asked. Asexual reproduction or pora kuntu portion ba what is very important? The important is the examples that we have studied, right? So ami kisman questions questions for example questions বোৰ চোৱাচোন answer কৰিব পাৰে নে নোৱাৰা Is the writing clear? Board kon bhalke dekha paisa nai? Okay. So just read the question. The plant propagated through roots. Right? And you have the options. Sweet potato, asparagus, dahlia, and fourth, all. So this is the question that has been asked. So a question to answer koribo lagile what you have to know? You have to know the examples that you have studied, right? So answer ki hobo? Hobo niki ne hobo? Exactly. The answer is asparagus. Asparagus is a type of ki boli kom kosur nisina. Kosu chini poa? Ami je khao kosu chini poa nupua? Yeah, so almost like that, right? So asparagus is Ohomiya namtut ki koi exact namtut moi najano. It is kosur nisina plant. This is what I know, right? Kintu example point of view pra important. Second question is adi se stem cutting is commonly used in propagation of mango, rose, cotton, banana. So the second question is this one. So we know the answer is rose. Generally stem cuttings, when we have discussed what we said, is generally duta example very much important from entrance point of view. It is one is rose and the other is bougainvillea, right? Protective section or kisuman questions pa kisuman examples or upor basic questions kude. Stem cutting or upor khodai rose or bougainvillea or upor basic question ahe. We'll come to the third one. So now don't think that since we are discussing the questions je somoy waste hoise, right? Karon what we know je theory ame jimane noporu questions by MCQs jodi ami nokoru, will have no idea that what we are studying aru amar kiman clear hoise hoy ne nohoy, right? So what I'll say is please practice doing the MCQs, right? Whatever book you get MCQs kora tetiahe tomar ki hobo, it will become clear. And what I would suggest is while you sit down to do your MCQs gute kitab khon ba gute chapter khon meli noluba, right? The portion that you have studied, suppose you have studied asexual reproduction no kiman questions aise from different textbooks, sorry, from different MCQs that you have or entrance related jiman bur heri ase no books ase he part ke koriba tetiale ki hobo at least around 100, 200, 300 questions from that unit to be cover koriba, right? Next we have the third question. A method in which roots are induced, a method in which roots are induced on the stem or branch while it is attached to the parent. Answer to দিব পাৰিবানে অপশন টু নেদেখাকে I'm sorry কোনটো question কোনটো এইটো okay a method in which roots are induced on the stem or branch while it is attached to the parent. Exactly. The answer is layering. Answer to me keneke gom palu je a part to important no. We have been talking about cutting. Cutting zon ami ki korisilu. We have cut that portion or he cut portion or ami plan banaisilu. Next we have discussed about layering, right? Layering out ami what are the points that we need to remember? Je junbilak plant or adult basal branch thake, that basal branch is not very far away from the ground. Matir pora jedi besi durot na thake, hebilak branch ami ki koribo paru? Layering koribo paru, right? So yare answer to jehetu answer to layering boli janu, let's not write the options, right? So answer ki hobo layering. Buji paisone? A question to nami ki sam attached to the parent. This is the point that is very much important. Next, layering is used in, you have given some examples. Jasmine. Layering is used in jasmine, rose, mango, ne all. Layering is used in kundal plant or. To give the answer, what you have to remember is hey plant dal bahut ukho hobo nalagibo. Yeah, the answer is jasmine. Generally, if you are talking about rose, we take rose as an example of stem cutting, right? Yeah, our jasmine hobo answer of layering. Good. I'm happy that you all have studied. So nice. Bhalke porha. Aru questions sound. Okay, question ahise longitudinal binary fission. Example, mane the organism that shows longitudinal binary fission ki asile? Binary fission, simple binary fission, longitudinal or transverse binary fission are the three types of binary fission we have studied. Longitudinal binary fission, a diagram like this. Ki asile? Exactly. Euglena, right? It'll split in this way. So this is what is called as longitudinal binary fission. Similarly, you have to talk about transverse binary fission in case of paramecium, irregular binary fission in case of bacteria. Yeah. Next. Question number kiman hobo 5 ne 6 5 okay, here a question likhise the quality of fruits produced produced during grafting depends on scion. So answer would be scion, right? So we have discussed almost 5 to 6 questions. I think now you have an idea je kenuka dhoroner question from this portion khudise, right? Aru kiba doubts asil niki? Ha, examples like NCERT so basically to NCERT e পঢ়িবা কিন্তু যোনখিনি নোটছত আছে নহয় হেগিটা এক্সাম্পল পঢ়িবা নোটছত বহুত বেছি এক্সাম্পলস দিয়া নাই কিন্তু যোনকিটা এক্সাম্পলস আছে হে এক্সাম্পলস বিলাক based on what based on the previous questions that we have seen right so NCERT পঢ়িবা আৰু ইয়াৰ question especially examples বাকি বিলাকত ইমান বেছি নাই কিন্তু morphology portion টোত বহুত examples আছে I think you all have noticed right so all NCERT kon পঢ়িলে especially in case of morphology a common problem hobo ebilakot dhora to some extent choli jabo so up till here what we have completed the asexual reproduction and we had an idea say a portion to questions from entrance point of view keneke hude now we'll move to sexual reproduction right so sexual reproduction ko alag lage there are certain points that always comes to our mind ki it involves the formation and fusion of gametes hoine gamete word to thakiboi lagibo right second point the gametes fuse to form ki fuse to form zygote and ultimately zygote forms ki embryo and ultimately the new organism next it is also called as syngenesis or amphigony or amphimixis out of all these terms syngamy is a word I think you all have heard right next point is it can be both uniparental and biparental yeah basic difference between asexual and sexual ki asile je in case of asexual reproduction it is always uniparental but in case of sexual reproduction the most common way being biparental kintu uniparental sexual reproduction hoy and what is the process or what is the example of uniparental sexual reproduction parthenogenesis have you heard about parthenogenesis Parthenogenesis ki asile it is a process in which the egg converts or transforms into the embryo without being fertilized without fertilization jodi egg to eta organism form koribo pare tak ami ki boli kom parthenogenesis normally ki hoy the egg or the female gamete fuses with the male gamete and then only the organism is born or the zygote is formed kintu yate jodi the egg alone jodi eta organism form koribo pare ba zygote to produce koribo pare tak ami ki boli kom process to parthenogenesis and this process of parthenogenesis is more common in especially insects bilakot parthenogenesis very common especially if you are talking about from insect point of view jane ki aphids hok bees hok we are talking about honeybee wasp hok right parthenogenesis is a topic within this chapter gradually we will be talking about it as far as one example of a plant undergoing parthenogenesis could be banana no banana best example of parthenogenesis okay next point is again when we are talking about sexual reproduction at a statement we need to remember it is a one second it is a complex it is a slow complex and elaborate process hoine sexual reproduction is a slow complex and elaborate process a statement to pra eta mcq ahise entrance hot question to ki ahise sexual reproduction is a slow complex and sexual reproduction is a slow simple and elaborate process correct ne false It is false karon ami ki jano it is slow complex aru elaborate process so a statement to monot rakhiba next sexual reproduction koribo lagile if an organism has to undergo sexual reproduction then the organism ki hobo lagibo mature hobo lagibo right maturity gain koribo lagibo or it should attain a particular phase of life cycle so organism to sexually reproduce ketia koribo jetia hi mature hobo ar jetia hi maturity attain koribo and what is maturity this is nothing but a phase of life cycle right life cycle boli kwa loge loge ako what we know that when we are talking about a life cycle of an organism it has different phases keta phase ase 3 phases juvenile reproductive aru next phase ki senescent right so life cycle or tinta phase ase juvenile reproductive phase and the senescent phase juvenile phase ami ki janu je in this phase the growth is very slow right and in case of plants this phase is called as vegetative phase hoy plants bilakok duta phase divide korise eta hol vegetative phase aru eta hol reproductive phase right so what is the reproductive phase once the plant starts bearing the flowers it is called as a reproductive phase aru jetia leke flower no hoy eta ami ki boli kom vegetative phase so vegetative phase in case of plants or juvenile phase in case of plants is called as vegetative phase in this phase the growth is slow reproductive phase okoman details koribo laibo next we have the senescent phase is called as the post reproductive right our senescent phase of ba senescence mane ki what is senescence reproduction hoy joar pisot for example since we are talking about botany let's talk from the plant point of view adult plant ase plant dalor flower eta develop korile flower to hodai karone thaki jabo niki nahi horiu poribo obviously hori poribo right e hori ketia poribo once its work is over mature the correct answer hetu hoy kintu mane exact answer to ki jana flower eta hori ketia poribo jeta ta kaam hoi jabo and what is the work of the flower that we are talking about reproduction yeah exactly tahator jeta fusion hobo reproduction hobo zygote hobo detail the petals or sepals or eko kaam nai right so after reproduction ki hoy all the stages that leads to death of that plant or that organ that is called as senescence buji paiso right so ultimately a2 phase or pisot ki hobo death of the organism hobo so a2 phase or basis animal life will come to the reproductive phase right reproductive phase in case of plants ki dekha pao je particular reproductive organs bilak develop kore aru in case of animals je particular structures develop kore no so if you are talking about reproductive phase and we are talking about animals so generally plants or reproductive phase or ki hoy flowers start developing right and on the basis of flowering plants bilakok divide kora hoise duta term ase that is flowering and fruiting plants bilakok dubhagot bhag korise that is monocarpic aru polycarpic remember So reproductive phase in plants ketia arambho hobo jetia it starts flowering. On the basis of flowering, the plants, all the plants has been divided, either they are monocarpic or they are polycarpic. Now what is the difference between monocarpic and polycarpic? Yeah, carpic or carpal hetu point of view pra koisa, kintu simple meaning to ki je if the plant flowers only once in their lifetime tetihal tak ami ki boli kom monocarpic. Intervals of jodi flowering hoi thake tetihal tak ami ki boli kom polycarpic, right? Okay, so flower once in a lifetime, flower many times in the lifetime. Monocarpic or examples bila ki? Yeah, you have some examples of annuals. A term kita monot ase ne? Annuals, biennials and perennials, right? On the basis of this, we have three terms: biennials, annuals, biennials or perennials. Annuals, biennials, perennials mane exactly. So if you have a lifespan of 1 year, it is annual, 2 years it's biennial, more than 2 years it will be called as perennial. So monocarpic or examples ki jimanbor annual plants ase gutei plants be like examples of monocarpic. For example, rice, wheat, etc. ebilakok ami ki kom annuals. If you are talking about biennials, what would be the example? Biennial kole duta example amar monot thake, very common example, it is carrot, radish, right? Another point about biennials is adult plant talk ami biennial ketia kom jetia tar lifespan to 2 years thakibo, and out of this 2 years the first year is vegetative and the second year is reproductive, right? So biennials, for example, carrot, radish, etc. And certain perennials that are monocarpic, the best example could be bamboo, right? Our second example is also important, bamboo ba bambusa ji kwa. Our second example generally NCERT book properly mark kora ase, that is strobilanthes. Strobilanthes kunthiana, right? A question to ahise strobilanthes opor. Strobilanthes, or another point that you have to remember is that it flowers once in kiman flower once in 12 years, right? 12 years to mono rakhiba. Next is, where can you find this flower in India, especially in southern India, especially Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu? On the hills of these three states you can see this flower. So these are the examples of monocarpic, right? Coming to polycarpic, polycarpic or ki hoy that they will keep on flowering at intervals. Jihetu our common example would, any example can you give? Mango, jackfruit, etc. So ekiniloke what we have discussed is we have talked about the reproductive phase of plants. A reproductive phase starts with what? We are talking about flower on the basis of flowering, monocarpic, polycarpic. Examples of monocarpic are examples of polycarpic we need to remember. Next, we have to talk about the reproductive phase of animals. In case of animals, animal portion we are not going to discuss in details in the botany class. In case of animals, animals has been divided into primates and non-primates, right? Zoology will talk about it in details, right? Primates or non-primates are examples. Janu no? Humans, apes, ebilak ki hoy? Primates. Non-primates example? Yeah, tiger, cow, dog, etc. Next point about primates, what we know? The mensuration takes place, right? And in this case, mensuration does not take place. Next is we can see the menstrual cycle. Aru yate ami ki dekha pao? Ki cycle? Ostrich cycle, right? So in case of non-primates, what we see is the ostrich cycle. Ostrich cycle is also called as the heat period, and it is called as a heat period, and within this period ki hoy, the females become receptive. Hoy? So, Aruzari informations like there are so many informations or differences between primates and non-primates. Talking about the menstrual cycle, you could be talking about the endometrial layer also. But this is a portion that will be discussed in your zoology class. As of now, ami ki jano je yate menstrual cycle hoy aru tat ostrich cycle hoy. Menstrual cycle details, human anatomy you will be talking about. If you want to know something about endometrium, no, endometrial lining buli eta bostu ase in the uterus of mammals. If suppose we are talking about this one and this is the uterus, so it would ki hoy, this lining is called as endometrial lining. Aru a lining dal ki hoy in the form of blood aru mucus, yeah, ki hoy, it get lost. Right? Aru yate jehetu endometrial system yate jehetu menstruation system nohoy, does that mean endometrial nathake? Endometrium kon thakibo kintu endometrium kon ki hobo reabsorb hoi jabo yat. The endometrium kon it get lost. Right? So basic differences again in your zoology class. So up till here what we have done is we have talked about the reproductive phase that is seen in case of plants and in case of animals. So I think this is all for today. In the next class what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss about the phase of sexual reproduction and the events of sexual reproduction plus the types of sexual reproduction. Kiba doubts asile niki?